In 2000, Julia Roberts won an Academy Award for her great and outstanding portrayal of Erin Brockovich, an activist mother who was fighting polluters in her home community of Hinckley, California. She was fighting against Chromium 6, and she won a $300 million class action lawsuit. 19 years later, the name Erin Brockovich is still familiar to people. But most people have probably forgotten about the topic of Chromium 6. But Chromium 6 has never really left the stage. And in communities like Paramount, California, it has taken center stage. Now, a name that most people have probably never heard of is Dr. Konstantin Salnikov, who is at the prestigious National Cancer Institute. Dr. Salnikov has conducted a significant study of the effects of Chromium 6 on people. Surprisingly, even to experts on the effects of Chromium 6, Dr. Salnikov's research has found a much greater potential for Chromium 6 to cause chromosomal damage and mutations than it was previously thought. The research showed that Chromium 6 alters human biology, opening a pathway for the development of lung cancer. His research also established an alarming link between Chromium 6 and respiratory illnesses. Industrial pollution from Chromium 6 is so significant that Dr. Salnikov calculated that approximately 30% of the groundwater in California is infected with Chromium 6. But just what is Chromium 6? What was Erin Brockovich fighting? Where does Chromium 6 come from? Chromium 6 is a compound that is produced in manufacturing processes that involve extreme heat, such as the process of welding. The most important thing to understand about Chromium 6 is that it is toxic. It is a carcinogen. Chromium 6 is plentiful throughout southeast Los Angeles County as a result of the large metal industry in the area. Companies like Carlton Forge Works are owned by billionaire investors like Warren Buffett, and they profit extraordinarily so from the industrial processes at these plants. They generate Chromium 6, and it is emitted daily into the communities in which those factories are. Many residents of the city of Paramount, where Carlton Forge Works operates, near schools, parks, and right in the middle of working class neighborhoods, are organizing to fight back against what's happening. They want the Chromium 6 out of their communities. We spoke with some community members.
When I had to go to the emergency room because I couldn't breathe. I've been to in a month's time. I've been in the emergency room 4 or 5 times in a month because of what I had to breathe in. I almost couldn't make it. Walking down the driveway, I couldn't make it to the sidewalk because it just took me to my knees.
And what happened medically? What did they tell you?
Well, they told me that my pulmonary test is. Well, they told me to move, but I said I couldn't. They said my breathing would get is where it's at now is as best as it's going to get, and as my age I get older, it's going to decline. So it's so long as I'm here and they just keep doing that, it's like adding to my short breathing.
So you're in this situation when you know you're 100% sure that your illness is caused by what's coming out of this factory right here.
Right.
No question about it.
No question, yeah.
And you live like feet, and you know that this is the cause, and you told people. Who have you talked to about doing something about it? Have you talked to any board members?
We talked to the city council. When we tried to get city council about the smell and the smoke and everything coming over, they just said, "Oh, don't worry, it'll go away." And when paying attention, our water even turns brown from them too.
Who told you that?
The city council, the mayor. Like I said, one time I went to the mayor at the time was Peggy Lemons, and she told me that in all of her 20 years, she never had anyone complain about a smell in the city. And she's right there at the Chamber of Commerce, right almost where I'm at, like 2 blocks away. It's wrong. I mean, they're supposed to be representing the people of Paramount, and here they are sticking up for the big companies. Even the trucks you're breathing in that diesel on top of what's going on with the chromium, and they won't even come down to look at it.
Like there's a big old diesel truck right now as we speak.
Sometimes there's 8 or 10 on the street parked, just going all day.
And diesel fuels are known to cause cancer. Like this is a fact.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and they're in the children from the school are getting leukemia also. That's why they have the stacks. They put the stacks up higher. People I can see them.
Yeah.
So it'll go over our house and go over toward the school, because there's a school a couple of blocks down the street over here. Lincoln School.
See, that's why when I showed you this one, I got tested with they did a hair sample. They found that like the 95% of the 8 different metals or toxins in my system, plus the chromium. So I'm not saying with the chromium with these other ones, it's like a cocktail in my system, and I don't know what it's doing to me. That's the bad thing. I go in the. We had our dirt tested. It came back contaminated, and it burns my skin. I don't know what's gonna happen to me 10 years from now if I'm around. How my morbidity is gonna be. I may be in an oxygen tent, for all I know. But I mean, like we all got diagnosed with COPD. She's got, my aunt back here's got the worst of it. She's on like a oxygen inhaler or oxygen thing. So all these companies that are like sister companies of this one, and they're all going to keep putting money into their campaign. And as long as you keep doing that, you're going to keep having the same thing. They're aware, but when they get aware, the city comes and says everything's been taken care of, it's all done, the chromium's down, but it's not. We just had like four spikes just like a couple weeks ago of chromium that no one told anything about. Not even AQMD told anyone about it.
Because this is near schools too, right?
Oh yeah, it's, Lincoln, and you notice the wind blows that way, straight towards the elementary school, Lincoln. And then you got Weber, which has the Western Hemisphere's largest press forge thing, they just put in right across the street from an elementary school, and it's going to be working. I don't know what that's going to do.
That's incredible.
Yeah. People who just move here, they have kids, and they don't understand why their kids all of a sudden are having bloody noses, or they have to be an inhaler, or why they're tired, and we just try to tell them what's going on and what the smell is. And if you smell the smell, go inside. We have a well right here that came up contaminated with cyanide.
Where?
Well 13 is right here around Carlton Forge's property. They leaked diesel fuel into it with cyanide, so it came up with cyanide.
Oh, I need to go and see that. Is that in their property?
Yeah, you could walk on the sidewalk and it says well 13 right there. But this is well 13. This is the well that supplied water to Paramount, but it's no longer in use because it was contaminated.
So what did they do with this water well? Like what happened here?
Well, it was getting signs of, I think it was a cyanide in the water, so they shut it down. They have another well they're digging and trying to get it so the water comes to Paramount. But this, I do believe, was just shut down, and they have their diesel. You see the white tank back there. It's a 1,000-gallon diesel fuel tank. It's right over the well, and I think that it was slowly dripping fuel into the well. So, oh no. Carlton Forge started out as small on Adams Street, but they have grown. They more or less, if you stay here and you pan down to the end of the street, they've bought this whole block on both sides. So they own about maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 blocks, 6 or 7 blocks.
And they own this thing right here.
This is their tooling section.
I mean, so they just decided to go around the neighborhood, around the houses,
and just pick and pick and pick and pick. Yeah, it's like play Monopoly, but for real. And then over here, I think they have their I don't know, their blowers or air vents, because they had to put the filters in there. Which part? Oh yeah, the parking lot. Well, part of PCC bought out Carlton Forge, and one of the shareholders is Warren Buffett.
Has Warren Buffett ever been to Paramount?
Not that I know of. I don't think he'd ever tell me, but he's invited to. I'd like to talk to him.
Would you like to bring him over so he can listen to the community?
I'd like to just smell what it's like over here, so see what's going on.
Maybe that's what we need to do. We need to make a call for him, like looking for Warren Buffett.
See how long he'd stay here and see if his eyes burn.
Pollution is likely to remain a key issue in the area. As reported by Newsweek in 2016, if you live in Southeast Los Angeles, your front yard might be a toxic waste site. Stay tuned with Nuestro Tiempo as we cover the social, environmental, and healthcare crises throughout Los Angeles County. I'm Dr. Cortes-Barragan. Thank you for watching.